Hello, welcome to She Speaks Bravo. Today is Atlanta Day, which means Kendrick will be joining me for a recap. But before we do that, if you are new here, hi, please hit the subscribe button. I do 3 recaps a week. I'm covering Atlanta, Beverly Hills, Southern Charm. And if you're already subscribed, thank you. Love you. Mean it. Honestly, truly, I do mean it. I know I'm stoned. Okay. What are you going to do about it? Let's just do the intro and get into it. My name is Emily, and I have been watching Bravo TV as a form of self-care for over a decade. Needless to say, I'm a complete mess. Subscribe and follow along for painfully insightful recaps about Bravo, true crime, and other great TV. Hit that bell. Guess what day it is, guys? It's Atlanta Day. And you know what that means? Ooh. Kendrick is here.
Why, hello, darling. Thank you for having me, as always.
Kendrick, it's my favorite part of a month. You know what? This actually makes Mondays okay.
You know what? I
just realized that.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Something to look forward to.
It's not nearly as horrific as it usually is. It's good stuff. I have a whole routine now. I try to get a quick workout in, but if I don't, then I've done it earlier in the day. So then I try to take me a good shower. I get in my hour of Basketball Wives, and then I'm ready to record with you. I'm all zenned out. Jackie Christie acts a fool the entire hour. It's amazing. I'm so ready.
You know, I have not been talking enough about Married to Medicine, but it's great this season already.
I just told someone, I forgot who it was, but I told someone that I have to let it go because I'm such a Mariah Huq fan that I felt like I was holding a grudge against them secretly. Last season started off slow, but it got really good once Quad finally officially came back into the mix. This season has been great from episode 1, and I've got to just stop. I feel like I'm loving it, but I'm holding a little bit of resentment against it because I'm where's Mariah? Bring Mariah back. This is her show. She's the funniest person on Bravo. I actually understand that though. Mm-hmm. It's like the Nene fans. It is
her show,
right?
Literally.
You have to get in that place where so I'm at the place now where Atlanta, I can move on. I'm okay, Nene, Portia, Phaedra, they're gone. May never come back. I have to be okay with this iteration moving forward. I like this cast. I'm good with it. I'm good to go. Mariah has always been my favorite person. So I'm okay, I got to do the same that I've done with the Atlanta Housewives that I do with Married to Medicine. I've got to let it go and just enjoy them. And I'm enjoying them a lot. I am.
Yeah. And, I'm not even necessarily a Heavenly fan, but Contessa fucking drives me crazy to no end.
You know what annoys me the most about Contessa?
Tell me.
I never know what her hair is going to look like when she steps on. It stresses me out genuinely because there's one confessional look she has with these bangs and a ponytail, and I'm Contessa, stop.
Oh yeah,
what are we doing? It's been she's been on the show for 6 seasons now, 5, 6 seasons. Come on. Drew saw herself on camera and she just a simple sew-in, just a simple Naomi Campbell straight down is okay. Everyone doesn't need the hijinks and the gymnastics in the hair. Just do it simple. It's too much. It's too much.
And she just has bad taste.
Yes.
So it's not you can't trust her to take a risk because she's going to pick the worst thing. So don't make choices. Just let someone else do it.
You know those people that will buy a whole lot of new clothes, and because they bought new clothes, they feel like they got to pair all of their stuff together before they go out. It's no, just one item. Just get the jacket. Get the jacket, okay? Put the jacket on with whatever you already had that you were gonna wear. You don't need the jacket, the Daisy Dukes, the rhinestone T-shirt. It's too much. Take at least one thing off. It's too much, and that's the motto Contessa lives by. She's I'm gonna wear. It's all new. I'm wearing every single thing in my closet.
It's we watched an entire season of Scott be psychotic to you and horrible. And we thought I thought for sure you would be divorcing him.
Right.
But instead, you're coming back this season mad at Heavenly for talking about how he's all the things we all watched him be.
Right.
I'm confused. I mean,
the ladies, I definitely feel like some of the ladies have a case against Heavenly. I don't know if Contessa is one of those ladies. Because I feel like Heavenly was fairly tame with the way that she talked about, and she only kept it to the confines of the show. Like, she never even mentioned like private conversations or anything like that. She only talked about what we saw on TV. So don't get me wrong, Heavenly's YouTube is some of my favorite messy ass shit that comes on TV. I mean, it comes on it comes on my TV on a regular basis. So like, I get it, but also like, she said Quad sleeps with married men. So like, maybe we take it up with that one first before we go to you, Contessa. We got
and Quad's over there defending Heavenly.
Right. It's weird. It's weird.
It's weird. Let's talk about Sheree and Martell.
Oh boy.
Officially being an item. She's like, oh yeah, I met my family, met my kids. God damn it, Sheree. God damn it.
Oh my God. So wait.
Can you give the audience, maybe people don't know exactly who we're talking about, just like a quick synopsis of what Martell has done?
Absolutely.
On TV, by the way. This is like documented.
Oh, yes. So Martell Holt, if you look up the word gaslighting in a dictionary, his picture will absolutely be there. He is one of the stars of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Amazing television, by the way. You've got to, if you've never seen it, if you like Housewives, like all these kind of like ensemble shows, it focuses around 3 married couples. It's great television. It's so funny because like they tricked some of the men into being on this show. They're like, no, we're doing like a home renovation show. All of y'all like build houses. Like, it's great. And they show up and it's called Love and Marriage. They're like, well, wait a minute.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, they're like, the way this is what it sounds like. But the women like convinced them, like, no, we're going to do it. It's going to be great. It'll still focus around that, like good stuff. Carlos King is behind the camera. So, it's good stuff. Martell Holt, married to the I was going to say wonderful, but she can be problematic herself too.
Yeah, I was going to
say. I'll say married to the lovely Melanie Holt. They've always kind of had like this backdrop of, you can tell something's going on, but they're like the Chris and Monique, where they put up this front of like, we're the perfect couple. And all of that came crashing down probably halfway through the first season, when she was finally like opened up about all the cheating he's done and how this woman has called him on the phone. And she like, Melody would answer and she's like, well, put him on the phone. Like, why are you answering this phone? Like, bold
disrespect on every level.
On every single level. He's the guy that will like tell you, oh no, I cheated because of stuff that you did. Not even like because you cheated. It's like, no, you I don't know, you just weren't cleaning enough, or you weren't doing like this. I just felt like I couldn't get it from home. So he's that kind of guy. Finally, like they thought they were going to get back together. She had a baby, like another baby with him. So that's their 4th child. And then at some point, she finds out that he never stopped seeing this woman. And in fact, she's about to have his 5th child. So the whole thing, she finally files for divorce. And then once she makes that move, in the background, he's still trying to get her back like the entire time. But in the foreground, he's like, well, she cheats too. And she's a terrible person. And, she can't, she never does this. And I want my kids full custody because she's not a great mom. Like, all kinds of like horrificness. So when y'all saw on social media, all of us like saying, Sheree, what the hell are you doing, when we found out this was a couple, that's why.
It's like, Sheree, how do you do it?
Just when we think you can't get worse, you always find worse somehow.
Like we really were like, honestly, could it be worse than Tyrone? And then we're like, oh, wait. We didn't realize we had to specify clearly not the guy that has, this guy is notoriously bad. Like, you say the name Martell and you know that that's a no-go.
Yes.
And it's not, and as everyone knows this, he's a hot, gorgeous piece of ass.
Absolutely.
So hit it and quit it.
Yes.
Or hit it and keep it, like that's it. You don't start introducing him to your kids.
Definitely not. Like they've gone on workout dates together. I mean, they're both extremely fit people.
Yes.
Go on workout dates together, like all kind of stuff. But I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't mention. Did you happen to see the interview with Kandi Burruss when someone asked her thoughts about this relationship?
No.
Okay, well, I want to see. I'm glad we're like on Zoom because I kind of want to see your reaction right now. Kandi goes, well, initially I didn't really believe the relationship because I know that he does a lot of stuff to kind of stay in the news. He actually reached out to one of my friends in an attempt to like, become an item with her. So he wanted to get them to film in a restaurant. He was going to call the paparazzi so they can sit outside and like, take pictures of them and all this kind of stuff. So the way she made it seem like Kandi said basically she doesn't believe the relationship because he's going around trying to find women in Atlanta where he can be seen out and taking pictures and trying to keep his name out there.
Okay. If that is true, then I'm okay with it because I hope it's just a PR stunt.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed this is just a PR stunt because no, Sheree.
No.
How much fun would it be if when they asked Sheree, like, so you're seeing Martell, and she was like, do you see how hot he is? But absolutely nothing more than that.
Right.
Oh, that'd be so fun if someone could do that. Just be like, oh my God, he's hot. We've had sex a few times.
I need Andy to ask her about this relationship at the reunion. Like, I know Andy doesn't always. You're right. I need him to be on his game. I need that question asked because you asked her on Watch What Happens Live and she kind of avoided it, just saying that her love tank is full or whatever, maybe.
Yeah, she said there was someone special.
Yeah. And boy, oh boy, is that special.
Kandi knows everything.
Mm-hmm. That's why I say, like, when I think Atlanta, it's almost like I know people have always like advocated like the Kandi gets removed from the show because like maybe she's not always as entertaining as she needs to be. But like when I think Atlanta, I really do think Kandi. Kandi knows everyone in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So like it's this kind of stuff that like when someone's dating someone, it's always Kandi. It's like, yeah, I think about Dennis and Portia.
Yes.
Like she popped up with Dennis and she's like, yeah, I know him. It's like, you know everyone literally. And I love that.
I love it. Love it. I love that about Kandi. Because she's so like cool about it too. She's like, yeah.
Yes. I know, he come around. I know him. He used to date my own girl, I love a good Kandi impersonation. I can't help it.
It's just too fun to do it. I want to address my listeners and my watchers, my viewers. I got a lot of comments last week about my take on the Marlo Kenya situation.
Okay.
A lot of disagreements.
Okay.
Something to know about me is I'm very easily swayed. I mean, not on everything, but I'm really not stubborn in my point. So as I was reading through the comments, I was like, oh, good point. Oh, that is true. Once I was removed from being triggered, I could see the other side of it wholeheartedly. Yes. I gave the disclaimer that I was triggered and not seeing things objectively.
You did, yes.
So you guys are right. Like there was really like no, like I would not disagree with a lot of you. I got to be honest. It's pause 1 second. I'm getting a call from Amazon delivery and they won't stop calling me. Let me. We're back. Groceries will be left at the door. So yes, you guys are correct. I was very triggered by Kenya's silent treatment. Marlo is absolutely an asshole. 100%. Some people also mentioned, and I went back and I reviewed some footage. I'll input the scene in here right now. Okay. Later in post. Okay. But Kenya does like semi-plan the like Sheree girls night single ladies thing. So maybe someone said that maybe she took a COVID test and it came out inconclusive. And so maybe she really so basically a lot of people were like, Emily, everything you said was incorrect. And I hold space for that. I am totally fine when I'm being wrong. You guys are probably right. I respect you for it. I hear you. I was really triggered by Kenya last week.
At least you're someone that can acknowledge when you're wrong. Like a lot of people will not like back down. You're like, nope, I was triggered. It's okay. I see the light now. It's okay.
Yeah. Like this is why I think I would be a good, like, or maybe I'd be a bad judge actually. Like if there was a debate, I'd be like, good point. Mm-hmm. Oh, great point. Right. Oh, good point. I'd probably never make a decision. I'd be like, it's a tie.
Right. I'd have to do
both
like
of you are right
stuff.
I could never. I actually don't know how, because I just can sort of see all sides. I mean, unless when something is clearly right or wrong. I'm not like,
Right.
Okay, let's get into the episode.
Okay.
The title of this episode, Trust parentheses Planning Issues. So it's supposed to be trust issues, but for some reason they put in parentheses. I'm so mad about this, Kendrick.
I know.
You didn't put parentheses in a title, because then I have to explain when I say, the title of it is called Trust Planning Issues. What? No, just call it Trust Issues.
Right.
Right?
Like I get it, because everyone, like I felt like the cast got in on slandering Sonya as much as they could for their party. So like the producers were like, you know what? I kind of want to get in on this. So let's go in on it. So I'm okay with it, but it's very hard for like what we do to name something trust parentheses planning close parentheses issues.
Close parentheses.
Very weird. Very weird.
Okay, so Sheree's looking hot in that little crop top sweatpants suit and her short. I'm like,
good.
This is a look.
For her.
Yes, all around from start to finish.
Yeah.
She's talking to Cairo. God, that boy is so hot. He grew up quick.
Yes.
He is dumb as a rock, though. So simple.
Yes, very simple.
Like she's like, I'm gonna have you model. He's like, okay. She's like, when am I gonna hear your music? He's like, sometime. It's just so simple as hell.
Oh God. So I guess it looks like he got the looks from Sheree and maybe the intelligence from Bob Whitfield, maybe.
I would have to agree with that.
Oversimplification, maybe, but we'll go with it for now.
Yeah. Because Bob is gross on every level. Oh God.
Who wants that sweating on top of them? Good Lord.
With that janky eye. Candy and Todd throwing Ace's 6th birthday party. Like this boy is so damn blessed.
Yes.
I wish I had Candy and Todd as my parents.
Right. Good Lord. I'm still, I mean, if they still want to adopt me, I'm perfectly fine.
I'm down too. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Is it too late? Because I'm down. Because the gaming truck. I want that now.
Right. It's so, I love that, like, the best kind of parties, like, I feel like who was it in New Jersey? What's her name? Jackie. I always forget Jackie. Good Lord. Jackie. She's forgettable. So Jackie, I feel like they had that party like for her kids. You know, when Jennifer was like, "Here's your to-go presents, you little
you savages."
Yeah. And I feel like she's the kind that like has activities for the kids and wants to like be there and help out. I love that like the Atlanta women like have their own section where like the adults can like do whatever, and there's like someone else monitoring the kids somewhere else. Like the kids were outside in the truck, and like Candy was inside like eating those wings. She's like, I gotta test these wings to make sure they're good for everyone. She's eating the wings, entertaining Drew and Kenya. It's like that's the kind of parent I aspire to be, even though I don't want to be a parent. But if I were to be one, that's who I am. I need someone
just
to
leave them out there.
Right. You do that, I'll do this. Like I gotta I'm on chicken testing duty tonight. I got this.
I want chicken right now.
Dang, it looks so good too. Oh my God.
Candy always has good food at her events because she's all about food.
Yes.
She doesn't mess around with the food.
Oh my
The
God.
cake looked good. All of it looked good.
Oh my God.
I know, I'm hungry. So then while that's happening, you've got Marlo. Ooh, I've got a spider. Hold on, I have to kill it.
Uh-oh.
So much is happening on my end. I'm so sorry, Kendrick. Such a scattered recording session.
Very entertaining to watch, though.
Sorry. I had to protect myself. The spider was like microscopic. I could only see it because all the lighting. But, you got to protect yourself. You never know. That could be the deadly spider bite later.
Right. 1,000 ways to die. You don't want to be on there.
That's the problem is those stupid stories exist and like they stick in your head for the rest of your life.
Yes. That's why I don't belly dance, because one belly dancer that like was flinging her cloth around and got it caught in the ceiling fan. I'm like, oh no, not over here. Not over here. See? Not happening.
So while that's happening, Sheree meets Marlo at La Archive and Marlo has the nerve to complain about how her sister is dealing with the boys.
When she's not dealing with them at all. Kind of, like, yeah.
But she has toddlers.
Right.
She has toddlers.
4 of them, right?
Right? Even one, by the way. But
right.
She has at least 3. In an apartment. So Marlo's like, oh, what are you even doing over there? I'm like, okay, so now you've lost me.
Right.
Marlo. Now you've lost me.
Right. Marlo. You gotta you can't do anything but laugh at Marlo sometimes because she's the perfect like housewife level of delusional sometimes.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what are we talking about right now? It almost makes you feel like you're too grounded sometimes when she's talking about something. You're like, am I not out there enough? Like, what is this common sense? Like, what is happening?
Girl. So Sonya joins them. So now we clearly have our teams.
Her hair looked great, by the way.
Yes, it did. So our teams are Kandi, Kenya, Drew. Sonya, Sheree, Marlo.
Yes. Power players on both sides, too.
Yeah,
I kind of love that.
I was going to say very evenly matched.
Yes.
But in different ways.
Yes.
Right? Like different, like a different skill set on each side.
Yes. And I love that they know exactly who they need to go up against. If there's a one-on-one battle, like Drew knows Sonya's your girl. Marlo knows Kandi, that's you. Marlo knows that it might be Kenya or Kandi, so she's got to kind of watch herself. Drew might have to go with you. Like it's very like you. It's chaotic at its best. Like it's a lot of mess going on. I feel like Kandi might be the only one that's ever safe, but not really, because Marlo exists. So
I gotta say, like, we'll get further into it. Maybe I think in the Jamaica trip we're gonna see Kandi go to 10 again. But honestly, she is stepping up and reminding us that she's always been ready this whole time. She just hasn't. You know what she's been doing? She's been working smarter, not harder.
Hello.
And that I respect it now because I wasn't sure. I'm not gonna lie. I will admit again. I'm gonna admit I was wrong. I was like, Kandi has been coasting for too long, and it was starting to bug me. But now, seeing that she can rise to the occasion and still and be fair, and have a heart, all the good stuff about Kandi is still there.
Yes,
and she's still playing the game. She's not leaving. She's not ducking out of things. She's staying present. She is my favorite this season.
It's what I've always found Kandi and Cynthia to be really similar in a lot of ways because both of their personal lives have a lot going on. Like Cynthia has always had a storyline, no matter what season it is. She's always had Peter. She's dated this guy who, like Eva said, was like a scammer. Was going
and
through
was.
Right. Had Mike and like her personal. She always has like whether it's business or whatever. It's always something that like gives. Candy's the same way. She always has a business that she's starting. She's always got Mama Joyce cursing out Todd. Like she's always got something.
Yeah,
both of them are like even keel until you push them to that point. They're not gonna just like it's hard on a cast like Atlanta because there are so many personalities that like take up all the air in the room. So like other people look like they're shrinking, but they're not really shrinking. They're just like, I don't need to be the loudest person. Like if it comes to me, I'm absolutely going to take it. But if it doesn't, perfectly fine too. Not like they're not always vying for power, if that makes sense.
See, I got to disagree that Cynthia was vying for power.
Oh, okay.
I think Cynthia was thirsty a couple seasons. A couple seasons, her and Peter, I was like, you guys are real thirsty.
Yeah.
Like Peter, especially.
I'd say later season Cynthia and Candy are probably a good comparison. The beginning, like when her and Nene were friends, no, they were a dynamic duo. Like they
Some of the Nene friendships in the beginning, like when Nene and Kim were friends and then Nene and Cynthia were friends, there's nothing like that.
Yes.
When they go sour, though, it's just you'll never get it back to the beginning.
No, because Nene,
once they get bad,
yes, Nene's mad day is like no other. Like everyone else is just like, I won't talk about it. Like we're not friends anymore. I'm not gonna say. Nene will shade you every single chance she gets. Will advocate for you to be fired. Everything. It's a lot. Ooh.
Yeah, and it's like just impossible to recover and like erase it.
Right.
So
no coming back from that.
Yeah. One of the best Candy versus Cynthia's was the pajama party.
Oh yes.
And Candy was so funny in that scene. She was so turned up, like all crazy mad. And then the next day had to be like, I was bad. And Todd was all making fun of her. She was all, you're not going to say to my man. Like she was like going crazy. And then she had to try to apologize to Cynthia, but then Cynthia was being wrong. And so then Candy got mad again. I need to go back and watch that season.
Oh my God. That's season 6, baby. Season 6. That is the season of Housewives.
You know what? There is nothing that boosts my serotonin like starting at season 1 Atlanta and just letting it go through.
Yes. Especially like the first 2 are so good, but like when you get to comedy. Season 3, oh my God, like when Phaedra comes in, there is nothing like it because Nene had such disdain for Phaedra. It is just all so funny from every single angle. You can't go wrong with season 3 Atlanta.
It's like written almost like a sitcom.
That was when like Sheree was dating that another janky ass
Oh my
dude.
God, that guy! He was such a piece of shit.
The quote unquote doctor, yeah.
And then he found out he got his like degree online, and it wasn't even really a degree.
Yes.
And they were questioning it. Nene was the one who was like, I know him. Remember?
Right. She's like, don't I know you? Yes. Yes.
I am that's what's going on in the background this week. You need your like background noise. That'll be the background. Oh, just
that's it.
Oh, so good. I just made my face hurt. I'm sorry. Okay, back to Ace's birthday. We find out that Candy had to shut down the play due to COVID. And her crying in her confessional and delivering this amazing line. She says, it was about trying to even the playing field for African-American creators on Broadway. The power in that. Like, she fucking meant that. And she was doing that. And that is Candy fucking Burruss.
And for Marlo to say that Candy doesn't support the Black community, good God.
Marlo, what the fuck are you doing?
God.
What do you do?
What do you do except throw the Black community out of your home? Like, what else?
Get out of here.
Jeez.
And so then back to Marlo in the archive, she's like, Candy has shown who she is and who she rocks with because she's upset about her being friends with Kenya. It's like, because now that we know, having watched Speak on it, they cut out a whole bunch of her Brooklyn comments.
Yeah.
So Marlo, you're just as guilty. Okay. Okay. Because Marlo doesn't know they were going to cut that out. So Marlo knows what she said.
Right.
And she's still saying to all these people to their faces, like, I cannot believe Candy would support that person. It's like, they all heard you say you were bashing a child.
Right. Weird.
Get out of here. Back to Candy though. Candy says to Drew, "You are literally the bone carrier now." Classic. Classic line. To me, that's like Housewives history. Like I will remember that forever. Yeah, very meta. Very meta. So now Sonya is like, okay, this Jamaica trip is going to be a +1 because I'm going to bring my husband and I don't want everyone to feel a little uneven. So she calls Kenya. Now you see, I thought that the reason Kenya hung up on her was because Sonya was just doing such a bad job with this scene. She was like, that's what it seemed like. She was like, so I just want to call and let you know this is a couple's trip. So I want you to let you know that this is a couple's trip. I'm like, bid it out. Right. So I thought Kenya hung up because she was like, I can't, this amateur bitch, like I can't.
Right.
But it turns out she was offended because she thought that like she was saying something condescending because like, oh, you're not in a couple, which is, I think, her being overly sensitive. To be honest, because Sonya was with two people that also don't have partners.
Right. I come down with Sonya a little bit more on that one because it felt, I mean, it was pure comedy that she hung up the phone. But like I come down that it seems like Kenya, a lot of times when relationships are involved, it always comes back to Mark. So I just feel like almost everything triggers her, like being around Ralph would trigger me too, but being around Ralph triggered her. Like any kind of conversations about couples and stuff like that, it really kind of triggers her. So it always seems like you almost like have to walk on eggshells when it comes to like relationships and Kenya Moore.
Totally.
Which you hate to do, but you almost have to at this point.
It's everything. Well, to be honest, I think everything reminds her of Mark. Like she talks about anything. She's like, being around her reminds me of my husband. Being around her reminds me of my ex-husband. So she always is likening it to that.
Right.
He was an awful person though, to be clear. So I'm sure. And we only saw what we saw on camera. Can you imagine all of the things? I'm sure that was traumatizing.
Right.
But Marlo gives Sonya the advice to just kill her with kindness, like I do.
Which no one takes seriously.
And they all were like, you need to be quiet.
Right.
But speaking of Marlo, she goes to therapy with Dr. Tart, who was he fine? Or was I just, am I just a
little bit?
He was a little cute.
A little bit, yeah.
Right away, they start praying and Marlo starts crying and she lets it all out. And I kind of understood where she was coming from. She wants to be their friend, but she also wants their respect. And then she yells like her mom. I'm like, I can imagine if you're not a mom and then you've been the muntie, it's probably confusing. And so he gives her a list of how to be strong and not mean. These are the tasks. And so there we go. I
like it.
I do. I
like that. I feel like, especially like this season, I feel like that's probably one of the better therapists that we've seen on this show. So
we need to actually. Good. Thank you for bringing that up. Because the therapists on Atlanta are toxic as hell.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not lost on us. They've all been men too. So yeah.
They're very, very toxic.
They need Iyanla Van Zant to
they need Iyanla so bad.
Come and save this place or something. Like,
how have they not done that yet? Jesus Christ.
I know. I when her show ended, it was the saddest day of my life. Like Iyanla was pure. That was amazing television. I'm still so sad about it.
I still think of the time she had someone dig a hole in the dirt and then stick their face in it and scream into the hole.
Yes, and as she's like holding his head
pushing his head down.
He's like, what is this? He's like, I don't understand why I'm doing it. She's like, you don't need to understand. She just starts stroking his head. He's like, what the fuck?
He comes up and he's all dirty.
Oh my God.
Such unhinged television.
One of my favorite ones was, it's so dumb, but I can't remember who it was, but it was someone famous. I think it was the season when she was doing like the notable people. And she put the picture of, I think it was Martin Luther King on the wall. And I think she was making them like read social media posts. And she's like, I want you to say it to Martin Luther King. And they're like having to say this.
To stop it.
It was the most unhinged.
You go say that to Martin Luther King right now. So they have to go like talk to a picture. It was just a picture of Martin Luther King.
It's top tier television, people. If you've never seen Iyanla, start from the beginning and just crank through.
Oh yeah, no, it is. You have to be prepared. It is completely serious. Like she's dead serious. But you have to know that it's also funny. Not meant to be funny, but
incredibly funny. Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Tell it to Martin Luther King. That line is going to be my favorite line of all time.
That needs to be the title of this episode. Tell it to Martin Luther King. Sheree, why'd you pick Martell? Go tell it to Martin Luther King right now.
I'm going to say that from now on. Like that is going to be something I say all. Go tell that to Martin Luther King. Okay. Would you tell that to Martin Luther King?
Exactly.
That is ridiculous. That's so Iyanla though, because she's dead serious. There's no sense of irony whatsoever.
Oh my God.
She's like, do it.
It's amazing television,
it's
people.
Amazing. I love this scene with Kandi and Todd and Kayla and Riley.
Gave us a big perspective on things. Yeah.
I loved it because Kayla got to talk a lot, and we really don't get to hear a lot from her.
Mm-hmm. She's always very quiet. Yeah.
And almost worrisome sometimes. Like I'm always like, is she okay?
Right.
And so they, the girls are in New York, and I mean, love Riley, but my God, she has the most boring voice.
Very monotone.
She's just
very monotone.
It's like she's always had it too, but it's just so, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But so Kandi says that they're getting their trusts together because we've got a lot of assets together. So they decide, the editors they decide that they're going to throw up, because Kandi says, I had assets coming into the marriage and Todd had assets coming into the marriage, and now we have assets together. So they throw up the assets Kandi came in with, which is a long list.
Very long list.
And it's like, and then the list of assets with Kandi and Todd when they've been married, it's like, ding, ding.
Todd's accent was just a thud in the background, which was hilarious to me.
I can't. I love it.
Only
I like
the New
that they
Jersey
troll
condo.
Todd.
Yes, I love it. I feel like they can, because he used to be like in the background on this show. So they're like, that's okay territory. We'll go there.
And he's like, and he probably was like, you didn't have to do me like that.
Right.
And they're like, yes, we did.
Absolutely.
And so now the conversation is, Todd, like, what if Kandi died and Todd was in charge? And they're like, well, and Todd's like, I think you guys should get your money in like small installments over the years. And obviously Riley, who's been so spoiled her whole life, is like, no, I would like all my money. So I want to invest it in a business. And Todd's like, I mean, have you looked into the business and how it's supposed to run? And I love that Kandi goes, everything's a lesson with you. And it is like, Todd's all like, Mr. I'm going to teach you a lesson. It's like, Todd, what the fuck have you done really?
Right.
You need to stop.
It's weird too that like, and I hate talking about anyone's parenting, but this is a safe space. So I hate that like he's been very open about like coming into Kayla's life very late. And it's weird that like this is like the parenting like personality he went into. You would think that it'd be like, I feel like most people in that situation are like over giving, where it's like he's still very stingy with like his love and affection, he's stingy with like gifts, and I want you to work for everything you have. It's like, well, I kind of had to work extra hard when you weren't there in my life. So can we stop that shit? Like, what are we doing?
Like, there's no overcompensation whatsoever.
Right.
No acknowledgement that, like, wow, you must have had to adjust a little bit when, like, you know, I wasn't in your life and now I'm here and let me make up for it somehow. It's like, nope, I'm still going to keep teaching you all these tough lessons and how to toughen you up. Pretty sure she's already been doing that.
Right.
Because she didn't have a dad.
Enough. Yeah.
So I very much agree. And so I like that Kayla got to be like, he thinks she's like, you come from being a mom. Like, you're a mom. He's business. Like, he doesn't think like a dad. He thinks like business first. He does.
Absolutely. Every time. Does.
And of course he feels ganged up on and he throws a little tantrum. He's like, y'all are so disrespectful. But this is where I just love Kandi so much when we get to see her family life, because A, she shows it.
Right.
B, she is willing to sit in uncomfortable situations as long as there's truth in it. Because she kind of just let him be mad and let them have that conversation. And I liked how she connected with Kayla. I like seeing them be like, well, I mean, it's true. And
I like that she like purposely asked Kayla to her opinion about like everything that they're talking about. It makes you really like, I like that she includes her. And then when they talk and she was like, can you believe we have 4 kids? I like that she's included. Like, you know, I like that like Kandi is always like, no, that's my daughter too. I need to include her in the conversation. That, you know, I like that. I catch it every time she does it.
Kandi just feels so like welcoming and warm. Like, she feels like if you're in her family, you're just in her family. She takes care of you. Like, that's how she's always been through the seasons. Like, whenever she's at like a family function, there was one family function, it was like a barbecue, and Mama Joyce, they were not speaking. But she was still just like hanging out with everyone. It was like all of her. It just looked so cozy and like inviting. And like, I think I'm just going to move to Atlanta and just join the family.
We're gonna jump the gate like T.I.'s illegitimate child, who was also Beyonce's cousin. Cousin. I was like, what was the relation? I forgot how we connected them. We're just gonna jump the gate like him, and we're gonna go live with Kandi. Like, that's fine.
We're like, duh. Kandi said, Kandi knows me.
Right.
That was just it was a great scene. And so, okay, Sonya. First mistake here. This is like the omen. She goes, you know, I just found out 2 days ago that it was Sheree's birthday. So I'm going to turn that little party at my house into Sheree's birthday party. And I'm not kidding. I was like, what party at your house? I didn't know she was, I forgot. I was like, what? I guess she's throwing a party. I like forgot she was throwing a party.
Right.
So, okay. And then Sheree goes to Woven, which is a fabric shop, and I am not totally sure she knows what to look for.
No.
She walked in and was just like touching fabrics, and they were like, what are you looking for? And then they were like, okay, are you looking for a stretch? She's like, definitely stretch. And then they're like, woven. She's like, woven. And then she would like touch something. They're like, well, that's not going to give you any stretch. She's like, yeah. Okay. And then
all
at
bad.
The end, I swear to God, at the end, they've just fake rung her up for things.
Right. No way she bought anything at that store that day.
That looked completely staged. Like, they were like, oh yeah, we can definitely get more of this in later. Absolutely. And then they didn't cut anything. And then they were like, okay. And they didn't give a total.
No.
Or if they did, she didn't pull any money out. And it was like very fake. Like, they were like, and
if we know
cut.
If we know anything about Housewives, they're always going to show the total at the register. Always. No matter what.
They will always show how that added up and show them leaving and thank you very much. But it ended with them being like, okay, great. And like looking at each other. And then they were like, cut. Okay. Put everything back. Sheree really has. I'm like, what are you buying fabric for? You don't need to go buy fabric. I was weirded out. I'm like, why would you buy fabric?
Really
You're
weird.
not the designer.
Like they tried to give it a little credibility when they like sent her home with like a lot of like swatches. And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe she's gonna apparently her
swatches
designer
are fine.
Right. I'm like, apparently her designer has no access to any fabric. So like maybe she's taken the designer I can't even defend. Who knows? I feel like, you know what I feel like? I feel like me and you, whenever this goes live, we have to buy some items from She by Sheree, and we've got to do like a live review on your YouTube channel to like
100%.
we've got to see like if this is woven or if it's a stretch piece. Like we got to see what it is.
We need to see if any of the She by Sheree has that fabric.
Yes. This is what you call investigative journalism, people.
We recognize this from the woven from the clothing from the fabric place. Yep.
Absolutely. It's woven. Blue.
So Todd and Candy, they're hanging in her office, and this was actually a great scene. Like he was pissed. He was complaining. He was like, yeah, that was fucked up. But he quickly agrees. He's like, look, I'm absolutely not going to give the way you would give. So you set it up, write it all out, ironclad the way you would do it. So you leave them what you want to leave them, because I don't want them coming to me, asking me. I don't want to mess anything up. And that's the exact way it should be.
Exactly. That's exactly how I would see. They're talking about all these like shared, like, no, everyone should have their own will. And like, if it's something that we've done together, then obviously that's going to go to you. That's fine. But like Riley shouldn't have to worry about if her mom passes. She should already have like so many M's in the bank or in a trust or something like that, to where when you pass, it automatically goes to her. She didn't have to worry about anything. Same with Kayla. If you Todd, if you can leave her something, then it'll go to her. Like, this should not. I'm all about people sitting down with somebody or just eating at your computer. Get a will together, because you never know. And your family, you think they're close, but you find out if they're close or not after someone dies. Just saying.
Yeah, don't put Riley in that position and leave. And I'm sure Candy will leave Kayla some stuff too, but she's going to do it the way she would do it, because Todd gets like drunk with power.
Yeah,
he gets all like he's like likes that. Ugh. He's like, I'm going to teach you something. It's like, shut up, Todd. My mom just died.
Exactly. I don't need a lesson right now.
My mom just died, and now you're going to try to teach me some fucking lesson? No, bye. Give me my money.
I'm an NYU grad. I don't need your lessons right now. Okay, I paid enough for lessons. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Get out of here.
But then, as much as they are flawed, because all relationships are, I still stand by the fact that Candy and Todd are perfect for each other.
Oh, absolutely.
Because here's the proof. Because she's got this opportunity to produce another play on Broadway. And she's like, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if it's a good idea, because we run the risk of it happening again with COVID. And Todd makes such a great point. I didn't even think about this. When Todd says, I think if you do it again, he's like, so what? What if you fail again? What if you fail another time? But it shows your dedication to be in that community. Damn, that's true.
Yep. Because that is not an easy community to crack into, especially Broadway. Oh no.
Yes.
So absolutely, keep trying. You have to. Like, you can't just like, they're gonna know. I'm sure. I can't tell you how many like celebrities have come and gone on Broadway. So absolutely, you got to show that you actually want to stay there and like put in the work and dedication that they're putting in, because they've dedicated their whole lives to this.
Exactly. And they have failed and lost all their money and just kept doing it out of the love. And so Candy, plan on it being a loss. But if you really, really do want to change the landscape the way you say you do, I'm like, well, damn. Okay, Todd. Okay, fine.
Right.
So they're perfect for each other.
Yes.
All right. Now it's Sonya's house for this party. Okay, yes. When they were setting up, they were like blowing up the balloons. I'm like, oh, is it her kid's birthday? I was like, I must have like forgotten. I must have missed something. I'm like, oh, it's her kid's birthday.
Oh boy.
Then it's not, because I'm like, this could not possibly be for Sheree.
Oh boy.
First of all, I also didn't realize how not housewives Sonya's house is.
Yeah.
It's not this is like not giving the money. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention because they just moved in. Sort of, right? Yeah, they just moved in. So I wasn't really paying attention.
Stuff, so yeah.
But I was so confused. So they're all arriving. And Drew, of course, comments on how far it was. And she says in her confessional, she's like, she is not in Atlanta. You do know that, right?
I loved it. Like with Atlanta people, there's always a conversation of who's actually Atlanta and who isn't. Because like rappers make songs about it all the time. Like,
they do?
Yeah, someone's like, "Oh, I'm from Clayco," and then someone else is like, "That's not Atlanta." Like, don't believe that. That is not Atlanta.
Is it similar to the shade in like Potomac? Because they always are throwing that shade in Potomac too.
Yes, because like only like 2 people from the cast. Well, now Monique's gone, so like maybe 1 person from the cast actually lives in Potomac. I think Karen, now that she's moved back, actually lives in Potomac, but everyone else is kind of scattered about. It's honestly
they're like really far apart from each other.
Yeah,
actually, they're like Wendy's wasn't she like 2 hours away or something?
Yes, I hate bringing it up, but I love bringing it up too. When I was on their podcast, reasonably, that was one of the things I asked them. I'm like, so I was like, how far was Wendy? Like that? Like they're like, if we're getting all dressed up and we've got to drive like 2 hours to your house, I'm like, that is
too
far. Like, good God,
that's a road trip,
right? Good
that's
Lord.
A full on. You need to pack snacks.
Yeah,
and pee twice.
Right. That is too much. If Wendy has anything at her house, I'm probably not going. I'm gonna fake sick like Kenya.
She doesn't get to throw parties. Like if Wendy lives in the car, like, well, then too bad. Like she needs to rent something closer and do that fake house thing that people do, or she doesn't get to throw a party.
Right. It's too much. No.
Drew's like, I didn't bring a present because you saw what happened with Fatum. Me being here is her present. Christ.
Good Lord.
Sonya really, though, has no shame. When Kenya arrives, Sonya goes, I'm going to give Kenya a tour because I wanted to get like her, her tips on how to like make the place, get some home decor advice, but then also confront her about her hanging up on me.
Right. It's like, so that's the actual motive here. Like,
I'm like, that's a weird way to do it because you're going to walk around and give Kenya the opportunity to shade the fuck out of your house.
Right. Bold move.
Then be like, hey, actually, so Kenya has a lot to make fun of easily. She's like, I wouldn't do she's like, there's nothing in here I would keep. Like, get rid of everything.
Right. Hate this color gray on the wall. Like, no, let's redo
horizontal
it all.
blinds.
Yeah. We need drapes, mama. We need drapes.
So this was so easily squashed. Like, she's like, don't hang up on me. But then Kenya's like, I will hang up on you if you're going to be rude. And then Kenya's like, it felt really, but Kenya always says I let so much stuff go in my marriage, so I don't want to take anything from anyone. I'm like, okay, Kenya, to be clear, you only did that in your marriage. With everyone else,
right?
You didn't take shit from anyone else.
No, never have.
So it doesn't track like, when you say like, oh, I didn't say anything in my marriage, or anywhere else. So now I'm speaking up. It's like, well, we never saw that, Kenya.
Right.
What didn't you call her, Ken?
Yes.
We never saw Ken.
No.
So
not us.
So, okay, but okay, cool. Like she's turning a new leaf. Sure. Okay.
Right.
And then, Sonya explains what happened and they very easily make up because truly, Kenya, you were being ridiculous. It wasn't
right.
You were just triggered yet again.
That felt like an opportunity where like you can easily like get an episode's worth of drama out of that, but it doesn't have to linger. Like that's the good kind of like drama that cast members love.
Thank you.
You don't necessarily want like a whole, like, because the viewers will get tired of that shit after a while too. So like just a 1, 2, 3 episode maximum, then move on to the next thing because we're tired of it.
Imagine this is Beverly Hills.
Oh God, that's a season's worth of drama right there. Getting hung up on the phone. Oh my God.
Hung up on the phone. Oh my God.
That is an entire season of stuff right there.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine if it happened to Dorit? Oh my God. Dear Lord.
We would never hear the end of it.
Oh my God.
Like we would be talking about something totally different 5 episodes later, and she'd be like, Garcelle, I just wanted to bring something up again.
It would absolutely be Garcelle.
It would be Garcelle. She'd be like, I can't. We would never live it down.
No.
So okay, Sheree's about to arrive.
Yes.
And the music isn't set up. This is so true. Like when I worked at Soho House, we had like, it was just such a complicated AV equipment situation. So like there was a whole AV department, and when that wasn't working, it was like such a disaster. And I could just feel that guy's panic. Like he was like, we don't have it set up yet. Like he was just like, this is like, everything is riding on this. Everything is riding on this right now. And so they decided to just sing happy birthday.
It's all bad. And the cast is taking an opportunity to take shots at every turn. I love it. It's hilarious to me. This is all bad.
Oh my God. But Drew is not wrong. She's like, if you can't host a house party, how are you going to host a whole vacation? I'm concerned too.
Yeah. We'll see how this goes.
I need to see the hotel accommodation. Although iFit is supposedly sponsoring it. So hopefully they have some standards.
Fingers crossed. But
then Sonya's like, Sheree, get up on this thing and we're gonna do the photo thing. And they're like, no. We need to charge the battery. She's like, well, how long? 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And then some guy with the catering food comes around. Those looked so dry. You could see how dry those looked.
And it's so fun that they did this, because not this past weekend, but the weekend before, I had just had some pate from a Jamaican restaurant and they were so good. Oh my God, they looked flaky and just, when I saw those on TV, I was like, ugh, what is that?
They look so bad.
Yeah.
And I like Drew's like, did you make these? Did your mom make these? No, these are catered. This is catered.
Right. You paid for this?
And so that Sheree's still like, she's up on the photo thing. And now it's like hooked up to a phone and they're like unable to get it started. And Sheree in her confessional is like, she doesn't have white meat chicken, no bartender, and a photo booth that doesn't work.
All bad.
Like, I guess it's the thought that counts.
That's so funny because I made a meme like showing how quickly Sheree's mood changed about that party. Because she walked in, she was like, I just met Sonya and she's already like throwing me a party. Like I've known these other girls for years. Like this is like she's a ride or die chick just like me. And then it's like, she doesn't have chicken here. Like she has nothing. It's genuinely the thought that counts because literally nothing else does. Nothing else does.
I mean, they're sitting eating around like the kitchen island. Like they're not. It's just like grab a plate and sit down wherever there's room.
Right. Grab a plate, you savages.
I mean, really though.
Good Lord.
And I like Sonya's mom just like off to the side. Listening, but she's just like off to the side judging, which I respected. Like I liked their cutaways to her facial expressions being like, what? Candy brings up Drew bringing the bones to Blue Ridge. So this starts the conversation. So Drew, she's like, well, when people won't express themselves, when they throw rocks and hide their hands, I will. And of course, Sheree's like, who's that? You. I was addressing the dog that was barking in my face, and Sheree's trying to get a word in. And what I'm saying is, you brought this person around, and what does Sheree do? Tomato. I'm throwing tomatoes at you, bitch. It was almost like she was like like in a video game, and she was like pressing like is it like Mario, like playing like Mario,
right?
Like tomato, and like. What? But Drew's response is, but she's like, what are you saying? You're not making any sense.
I love that. Like she's our like unreliable narrator in the sense because like Drew never knows what the hell is going on. She's always just like, what? Huh?
She
What's
starts
happening?
it and then she acts like she doesn't know how it started.
Right, exactly.
Sheree looks like she's legit, like not. It's like she's confused because it's like a veteran. Because she's such a pro and she knows how to fight, but she's kind of like, what are you even fighting about? It's almost like she's like, this isn't worth a fight anymore. And she's like, because she goes, I'm saying, let's shut up and let somebody talk. Like, I'm just like, this is getting annoying. I'm sure and then she even says like, oh, because Drew says, it didn't stop there. She got a detective who investigated me. But then Sheree goes, who am I talking to right now? Is it Danielle? Is it Tiffany? Oh God, damn. But then Sheree goes, she says to the group, she goes, you guys do not notice that every time we get together, she has to have an argument with somebody. And it's true. That is true. Drew, like, this is kind of why her and Ralph make the most toxic couple, because she can keep fighting. Like, she can't let anything go.
Right.
And we know Ralph. And so so she keeps poking and then so Sheree says, you make everything about you. And Drew's like, well, this one made it about me when I went to Brooklyn's party. And she said that about my husband. And Sheree again is like, your assistant said that, which I will give her is so frustrating because Drew was trying to be shady to Sheree and be like, well, I heard you didn't pay Anthony or whatever his name is. And it was like that guy that said your husband's gay. And it's like, oh, now you're the enemy. And it's like, no, God damn it. Like,
right.
So now Sheree just looks like she's exhausted. Like, she just looks like she's like, can you just shut up? And then Drew goes, maybe you don't remember. Maybe as you're getting older, you don't remember. Sheree goes, you would wish you looked this good. And what does Marlo say in her confessional?
Oh my God.
Drew better hope when she gets to be Sheree's age, she looks that good, because Sheree looks damn amazing to be 60. Fucking hell. And the producers, of course, are like, she's 52.
Marlo's like,
Marlo knew that.
This is like the second coming of Phaedra finding out that Dorinda and Brandy are only 5 years apart.
That bartender in that scene, like barely being able to keep it together, he stole that moment. Like he was like, I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna get fired.
This is so good. Oh my God.
And so Sheree just like, she's just exhausted at this point. And then, but did you notice Drew goes, you came real tough today, honey? And Sheree's like, I'm always tough. Like, bitch, you
right.
Like, I'm Sheree.
Right.
Okay.
Sheree the Whitfield.
Do you even know?
Right. Put some respect on my name.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But then it's nice that Drew decides to sing a beautiful rendition of Happy Birthday.
Wait, I do love how this like actual altercation ended, because Drew's like, well, maybe I'll just, you know what? Let's just let it go. And Sheree's like, it wasn't even it wasn't even a thing for me anymore. It's only a thing for you. Like, you're the one still holding on.
You're the one. They're all exhausted. Like, Drew, you are tiring everybody out at this point.
I loved Kenya during this scene because like, she's so like such a messy spectator, because like she hears Drew say one thing, she's like, yeah, I remember. Yeah, Then Sheree says something, she's like, oh yeah, that happened too. Yeah, I remember that. It's like, okay.
She was egging everyone on. She's like, and then oh, she did say that. Yes.
Love it.
I mean, it's fair. She knew it was good TV. So now Sonya gives them the rules for Jamaica, which are water-friendly hair, no standoffs, absolutely no props,
okay,
no weed, no jail.
Brittany
and I was like,
Griner,
who were you telling that to? Like, who in the crew smokes weed? I want to know who's down.
Right. I'm listening to that right now.
We are repping iFit. So basically, worst idea you've ever had, Sonya.
Right. Wrong girls to invite.
If don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Because they are going to fight. It's a cast trip. That's standard practice. So they show the preview for next week, and Kandi has one of the best clapbacks I've ever heard in my life. Marlo says, "Bitch, you're a nobody. You're only known in Atlanta, baby." And Kandi says, "Bitch, I'm worldwide."
Yes.
Truly,
Escape has sold some albums, baby.
One of the best clapbacks I've ever. I'm worldwide. Like,
hello.
And she is. So don't even.
Hello.
Marlo.
She's written for Destiny's Child, honey. They know her. Written for TLC, baby. They know her.
Please.
Goodness.
Nice
Pink,
try,
Whitney
though.
Houston. Like, stop
Just
it.
like, Marlo, like, how do you not know? Like, if I was on a cast with Kandi fucking Burruss, I would know who I'm talking to.
Right. Like, in this, even if, like, because I feel like Marlo want to be like, that was 20 years ago. You haven't done. She just had a song on what album was that? It wasn't this past Ariana Grande album, but I think the one before that.
No
break
way.
up with your boyfriend.
That's Kandi.
That was her writing. Her and her writing team wrote that song.
See? Do you see? Do you see? Do you see?
Worldwide, baby.
So don't just. If I'm gonna go fight with Kandi, I would know those things and just not set myself up for that.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's gonna be a good trip. I'm looking forward to Jamaica.
Me too, because Kenya has done another Rent-A-Date and got a man with her, and whenever she does that, they're usually a mess. Like,
how many episodes do you think it's gonna be? Because they showed. Notice they didn't say. I saw a lot of people saying next week on the Atlanta Housewives. I'm like, I think that preview was for the entire trip. So I think this might be for. Because remember they said coming up on the Atlanta Housewives,
and that's why I was like, is this the mid-season trailer? I'm like,
right, we already got you right.
Yeah,
so
no, I wondered the same thing. Okay, yeah. Oh, you might be okay. So I'm gonna guess they give us 3 episodes.
I was gonna say like 3.5, maybe, like, you know, where they do half in Jamaica, then they come back for the rest of the half and family stuff and all like that. So I'm thinking 3.5 is probably all we need.
Yeah, because that's still good. That's still a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a great cast
we still got to figure out how we're about to do this fashion show at the end of the season.
Oh God,
we got things to worry about. Okay,
Sheree's gonna be so stressed out. Oh my God, the lead up to that, she's gonna be freaking out. Okay, wow. Great episode though. This was another goodie.
So funny. This season is just hilarious to me.
It is.
Every episode is so funny.
I mean, Sonya, as bad as that party was, and wait, we didn't talk about Drew's awful Watch What Happens Live moment.
Oh God.
Oh no. Drew. So Andy was a viewer question or what? He was like, do you regret saying what you said to Sonya about having another kid and like just give your man whatever he wants? And she's like, well, if your man wants that, you know, you're the woman, you are the one who carries the child. So, and he's like, well, what if she doesn't want it? Well, I mean, I didn't hear her say she has a medical problem or anything. Did she? And he straight up says, you sound like the Supreme Court, Rick.
Oh boy. Ugh.
Jesus Christ, Drew.
Yeah.
Drew, I mean, look, I have to say Drew has become, and I don't mind it, the villain of the season because she's fighting with everyone. She's, you know, she's a mess and she says shit like that. She's,
oh boy.
And, you know, we need a villain on a show.
You know who she reminds me of now that I think about it? Her and Heavenly are very similar in a lot of ways. Very similar. That's what she should have been on Watch What Happens Live with. Dr. Contessa was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't back you up on this. No.
Yeah, she was like, I'm out of this. She's like, she goes into, she got sticks her head in the frame like, I don't agree.
Right.
Just for the record.
Just cut me out. No,
Hi.
don't.
No. I don't believe
Not
that.
No.
So yes, Drew by no means is like a non-problematic cast member. She's very problematic, but she's unfortunately good TV.
Very true.
She's frustrating TV. How about that?
Okay, that's perfect. Do you think
that's hard?
Right. That's hard to achieve. That's very. She's very polarizing in a way.
Polarizing.
Like you either really love her or you hate her, and it's it's good for us because we always got something to talk about. Do you think? I wonder though, because that doesn't seem to track with like Drew that much. Do you think she gave her that advice because it was Sonya? Like if Kendi or Kenya would have asked her, like she would have given her like actual advice, but it's like, well, your husband wants it, give it to him. Like, okay.
And I feel like she doubled down only because she's trying to be like always like she's like doesn't have any regrets with Sonya.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
agreed.
To me, that was she was simply trying to double down because she said she doesn't have any regrets. So
right.
And then she kind of talked herself into a corner and Andy was like, do you realize what you're even saying? And she's like, damn it, not really. What am I saying?
Right.
I'm truly just trying to prove that I did nothing wrong with Sonya and Sonya's 100% to blame for everything.
Right. That's all I can ask
Drew is that stubborn. So I think that there's some truth to what you just said. Like if Candy had gone to her and said, I don't think I want a kid, she guaranteed would have been like, whatever you want, you need to stand up for yourself. That would have absolutely been the advice she gave her.
Absolutely.
But because she hates Sonya,
she's like,
sabotage.
No, give him 8 more kids.
Give him whatever he wants. You're not important. Okay. Moving on. You're right. Alrighty, guys. That wraps us up. Kendrick, you are welcome to do the huge, but I'm always, I can just like put it in the notes. I don't know. Is it awkward? I always get uncomfortable when I have to do that.
At this point, it's so like.
Are you used to it?
Yeah, but it's so
do it right now.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Kendrick. You can follow me on Instagram at RealityComics2. That's TOO. Follow me on all the podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart. It's Reality and Comics 2. I'm there for you. Give me 5-star rating and review. Give Emily a 5-star rating and review because we love those. Thanks.
So you are good at it. I get really awkward. I start sweating.
Do you?
I do. I start sweating.
It'll start coming natural, just like the make sure you like, subscribe, and
yeah. I'm still not good at that. Oh yeah, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. All right, guys. Bye. See you next week.